everybody, my name's Chris,
And I'm Glow.
and we are back.
Yeah.
We're actually back. We have a lot of things to update you on. One is this is not the couch that you last saw.
Or the house.
Or the house that you last saw. So at the very end of our episode today, that's actually where we're going to tell you about the journey that brought us to where we are today. But in between that and the beginning of the episode, we're just going to catch you up on basically everything that's been going on in the last several months since May. There's just been a lot. So in a really good way, a lot of really good stuff. So just a little too busy to fit in putting the podcast in, but we haven't forgotten about you guys. We've been thinking about you. So if you want to hear everything going on in our lives, then feel free to stick around. Yeah. So what do you want to just start? What do you want to start with? I feel like it's been so long.
I know. Well, we went to Seattle at the beginning of May. So right around when this episode released, actually. But we hadn't gone yet. But that was a big fun trip to celebrate 2 years of being married.
Yeah, that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of awesome, cool, weird stories that kind of happened in that. I don't know how much we want to talk about.
I mean, we don't have to talk about it too much. First of all, I literally would move there in a heartbeat. It was so gorgeous. The city of Seattle is so cool.
Yeah.
But then just the mountains, especially Mount Rainier, is so unreal.
Yeah.
I was in heaven every second there, and I would go back in a second.
We went to that one island that
Bainbridge Island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where one of Gloria's favorite authors lives, and also where pickleball was founded, apparently, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yeah, you think that the whole island would be super pickleball-y, but there's just one tiny shop.
There's one little store that's the origin of pickleball, and it's just all their stuff, and we're like, oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, at least that we saw. There was more. We didn't go super far on the island, but
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
That was really, really cool. There were some strange things that we encountered, some weird people, mainly.
Yeah. One guy tried to fight me at the top of a parking garage.
He used the word, was it brawl?
Yeah.
I know how to brawl.
You want to brawl? I was just trying to figure out how to turn off the Prius.
It was so strange. He wouldn't have stood a chance anyway.
Oh, thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
He's a pretty old man.
Yeah, he was a 60-year-old dude. No shade to those who are 60 that listen, though.
Just don't go brawling with anybody.
Yeah, just don't try and pick fights.
Strange, especially on the top of a parking garage.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy though. We tried to go to Mount Rainier and go to this one hike, but it was still too snowy for us to really be able to get high up. But in the end, when we were coming back from Mount Rainier, we saw this little soda shop. You remember that?
Yeah, that was fun. I thought you were going to mention how we tried to get to the hike and the potholes.
Oh, yeah.
The road. Imagine a road where it's not a pothole here and there. The road is potholes.
Yeah.
And we're in the Prius.
It's, what's a good visual aid for it is Connect 4.
Yeah.
If you ever seen a Connect 4 board, or just the plastic bits where all the circles are.
No, exactly.
That's literally what it was like. I wish we recorded it.
Yeah, I took a short video that was so bad. I was trying not to die because I was holding on for dear life to the sides of the car, just
Yeah, we're off-roading in a Prius.
It was wild. In the Prius that's so low to the ground.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Luckily,
Luckily, it didn't get damaged.
And it was really funny because on our way up, we saw an abandoned Prius on the side of the road. It was like a warning. The last person to try this didn't make it. And here you are trying again. Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a nice celebration. Now we're at 2.5 years this month.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Wild.
Yeah. That's just crazy because it's been so long since we've caught up with everybody.
That's true.
Yeah, which makes me feel like if we haven't seen you in person, and the only time that you hear us is when you hear this podcast, you should just let us know what's happened in the last 6 months of your life because we've kind of been absent.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So we did Seattle. And then what happened after Seattle? I don't have a memory. So
we had a few other fun trips this summer. I travel for work sometimes. Chris comes sometimes. We had family vacation.
Went to San Diego. That was really recent though.
Yeah, San Diego that was last month. That was a lot of fun.
Saw a bunch of animals.
Yep. We had a few friends get married, or one friend get married, and one's getting married this month. So it's been definitely wedding summer.
Yeah.
Not as much as last year.
No, last year was crazy.
Still some just wedding, all the wedding things that come with a wedding, which has been super duper fun.
Yeah.
And
some of our friends moved.
Some of our friends did move.
Shout out to Noah and Lindsay if you're listening.
Yeah.
We miss you. Come back.
Yeah, well, they are coming back.
Oh, when?
For Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He deleted GroupMe, sorry.
I'm learning that in real time.
Yeah. He deleted GroupMe, so I see messages. But, yeah. So some friends moved. And what else? Lots of young adult things.
Yeah. So I feel like before we, like around May is when we were like, okay, let's do this. Like, let's lock in. And that's when we like really locked into the young adult ministry at Grace Church. And it started off with like the whole young adult community being on board for us like stepping into a new season and like reaching out to people and being really intentional with the ministry God had given us. And
that was a lot earlier in the year though.
Oh, really? That was even earlier than May?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So then basically like that culminated probably to around the time of May where we like kind of were like growing into a real community, like a real like close, like intimate family. And then we had the kickoff and we had the most memorable event of the summer was at the Geis house.
Oh, yeah.
That was
the kickoff, yeah.
No, that wasn't the kickoff.
What?
At the Geis house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the kickoff.
What was that?
That was like the when we were at the lake. It was the lake day
Oh,
party.
that was a lake day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the most memorable
Yeah.
one.
That was
like a dream.
Yeah.
Like if I have pictures, I'll throw pictures up right now.
It actually sounds like a dream if you hear about what they were doing, such as putting lard all over a watermelon.
So it's like fat. Like it's just like a congealed fat, basically.
Yeah, all over a watermelon, and then trying to play football with it.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, for dudes to be able to just like
for
fight,
dudes,
it was so
get that
good.
out of their system.
But it like got in people's bathing suits and in their hair.
It was disgusting. The girls.
It impacted so many more people than just the guys.
Were like 30 feet away in the lake, getting it on the lard on their swimsuits because it was just floating over. It was so disgusting.
Yeah.
But it looked like a blast. So
it was a ton of fun, and we had the Mabs. They took the boat out with what's it called when you do that? Tubing. Yeah, they had a bunch of people go tubing, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Thomas got baptized there, which was really cool. And that was really like the beginning of our friendship with Thomas and Berenice, who we have to have on the podcast.
Oh, we totally should.
Yeah, we totally should have them on the podcast. But they're just friends that we made this summer as well. And that's been really cool, growing in our relationship with them. What else did we do? So much stuff.
We had a lot of young adult events, a lot of just like ministry things. We had a women's retreat at Grace, which was super cool. I got to talk about Sabbath to the women who went there.
That was super cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I loved that. At the beach.
Yeah.
We just had a worship night that was really, really great for young adults too, like last week.
Yeah.
What else did we do?
Mike and Alexandra got married. We didn't say that by
who.
name. Yeah, but
Mike and Alexandra got married.
Yeah, so shout out to them because they were literally on our podcast, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another couple that was on our podcast that got married. If you want to get married, come on our podcast.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We hike a mountain. What is this? Storm King? Oh, that was a mountain that we hiked when we were in Washington, which was really cool. Oh, that was a cool mountain. Sorry. We probably should have talked about this more before.
It's okay. We're word vomiting
Yeah.
what's
If you guys are
happened.
listening to this, you guys are the real few. Like you
It's
guys
true.
are
But some of
sticking
y'all
through.
did ask for life updates.
Yeah.
So we're doing our
So-
best.
So the Storm King Mountain one, that was a cool one because that one you almost were going like you were going, I want to say like an 80% grade or something like that, like up, and there was like the rope that you had to like hold on to. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got to the top, we were like feeding like the bird,
Oh, yeah,
the
the birds
and
would just
everything.
land in your hand.
So cool. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of messed up, but I was feeding them chicken jerky.
Yeah. I was like, that's
Yeah.
literally cannibalism.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They loved it though. And I'm pretty sure they were just like stacking it in their nest.
Yeah, whatever.
So, yeah, what I was going to say is we could probably summarize like all of this. If you guys wanted to hear anything in particular about any of these stories, you know, just let us know. But like we could summarize pretty much this whole past season as like prioritizing and focusing and like I think surviving, you know. Like it was just there's so much over that period of time, so much happening.
That's what I was going to say. So like every single day for the past several months has been filled.
Yeah.
Like every night has been filled.
Oh, we live with my parents.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that when we talk
okay.
about home
Yeah.
stuff. There's a lot that goes into the home stuff.
I know. It's kind of like all the other stuff was just like normal life stuff, you know, just like going
Busy,
out,
normal
traveling,
life,
seeing friends
working.
getting married.
Yeah.
And then it was like
In the midst of all of that.
over all of that was, oh,
Yeah.
by the way, you don't have a house.
Yeah.
Now you have a house.
Yeah. I don't even remember if we've gotten to the nitty gritty of like the first home.
I think we kind of did, but we didn't go super deep into it. But
Yeah.
for those of you who remember, we'll just jump into it now because
Yeah,
I think it's
might
like
as well.
the biggest thing. For those of you who remember, we were going to move to a house in Hope, and turns out Hope was hopeless. It just
Oh.
didn't work out.
That's sad.
It didn't work out how it was supposed to. Just basically.
Oh, we didn't even talk about coffee stuff.
Oh yeah,
That's a big thing.
we're all over the place. Should we talk about coffee stuff before house stuff?
No.
I just started it.
Nah, let's talk about house stuff.
Okay, so basically, Hope was hopeless. We were supposed to move to Hope, but then that ended up not happening. Like 2 days, it was like the week that 2 days before we were supposed to move out of our apartment.
Literally 2 days.
2 days before we were
Yeah.
supposed to move out of our apartment, that our realtor calls us, hey, just so you know, the other guy, he's just like, he's not going to budge. Like, you either have to like cough up $20,000 or you have to give up on the house.
Yeah.
And we were not going to do it because, in our opinion, it wasn't our responsibility to have to pay that. He had made decisions, he or she, I don't even know who it was, had made decisions that placed them in a scenario where they had to pay the money, but they wanted us to pay it. So we weren't going to do it. We were like, okay, we're just going to wait it out. Ended up moving in with my parents, which was just like a whole, I mean, like if we wanted to go into how do you decide, you know, what to do in a strenuous
We've
circumstance.
talked about that before.
Maybe we
Because
did.
we have podcasted since we lived there. But
Yeah.
we were
But-
there for like 6 months.
Yeah, we ended up living with my parents, and that was good. Just kind of learned about how we are as a couple during really stressful seasons, and being in like a foreign environment. I think Glow and I were actually like in a super peaceful season during the midst of that, which was really cool because I think that a lot of people could be under extreme stress like during that kind of season, but we weren't. You know, we were chilling, vibing, and my parents were really kind to us too, and you know, cooked and like all this like other stuff.
I feel like we were never there for dinner though.
Yeah.
We were like
Yeah, but I ate the leftovers
in
for
our
lunch,
crazy
so that was
busy-
really nice. Yeah.
busy still. But
I think we actually, if there's anything to look back on, it was that in that season, we really abandoned our Sabbath and we became super like pack out every single day because we just didn't want to come home to be in the basement anymore. So we were just like on the move basically every day. Yeah, which was a lot. And then there was like a whole readjustment period when we ended up moving back to this house. So
Yeah.
do you want to talk about how we ended up landing this house without naming the exact location of where we actually live?
We live at. How did we even do that? Well, the whole time we were living. What?
The internet.
Well, yeah, the internet. The whole time we were living with his parents, we were continuing looking for homes. At one point, we were almost like, it's been several months. Why don't we just like rent again? Or why don't we just like take a break from looking?
Yeah, maybe it's not time.
Yeah. And then it was around that time that, I'm doing my Google searches. And then I was like, oh, there's actually this home that is in a really good location for us. And we can afford. Like, what? It was just like shocking because we hadn't found one around here that was like in a decent price range. And it was like, whoa, cool. Okay. So basically, we talked to our realtor friend and we came and visited it. And this house was like totally different than it is now.
Yeah.
Like totally different.
I'll throw up some photos.
It's wild. There's been a transformation. Thanks a lot to Chris and a lot of our friends. And so we visited, and then I don't even know what happened after that.
We literally came in.
It was a really fast
We
process.
came in, we saw the house, and then our realtor was like, you need to decide like within the next 24 hours if you're going to do this thing. And
oh yeah, because apparently our neighbor has told us like, I had no idea how long, it had been on the market or whatever, but
really short time, like 2 weeks. That's what he said.
Yeah. And at one point there was apparently an open house within that time, and the line was just down the street for people trying to look. So it was probably, it was kind of like, you better put an offer on this really fast because there was a line out the door about it. So we did that. And then I don't know if you want to talk about what even happened there, but we ended up
providing in like a really cool way. Yeah. Cause like basically like the price dropped dramatically because of, we're paying for it in a different way potentially, but we're hoping that like just different zoning things like change, and
flood
then,
zoning.
Yeah. And then that like benefits us in some way. There's no like actual danger that the house is in. It's just like old like zoning that hasn't been updated properly that they've been saying they're going to update for like forever. And so we're just like hoping that actually like happens. But in the end, it ended up being like a blessing to us right now. So that was really cool. And it was, I think, a huge encouragement when we kind of just like we're at the end of the rope in some ways, with our belief that like this was the right time, and it came in the right place, at the right time. So it was really cool. And there was a lot of discouragement leading up to that, So if you're in the process or if you're like walking through the house buying like thing, like we saw so many homes that we like could so easily picture ourselves in, and it's so hard because people are like, don't get it like attached, and stuff, but like,
and a few that we like put offers in and didn't work out, so we were pretty,
or we even found a way to get a letter to the person.
Did I even put a letter in their mailbox?
There was I think you did.
I think I did.
Yeah, I think you put a letter in the mailbox.
Yeah.
And the lady,
that's not really allowed. But I kind of
no, the realtor can't give a letter to the person.
Yeah. But you can. I just
like we knew that
you have to know where they live to give them a letter.
Yeah, we knew that person like personally. Like,
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like why we were able to do that. Yeah, but yeah, so I feel like we're saying a whole lot of nothing. It was basically tough, but then also a huge blessing in the end. And this house is like better than anything that we could have dreamt of, in so many ways. So yeah. Thank you to everybody who was praying for us in the midst of that, because I know there was some people who were really faithfully praying alongside us in that process.
Yeah, it was a crazy process. I think it just takes patience of, like you said, just not getting your hopes up about like a certain home. Sometimes even when the offer's accepted, like for me, I was like, I don't want to cling to a place until it is ours.
Yeah.
Because that's how it can be a more painful process, is when you start being like, oh my gosh, this is in my price range. I'm going for it. Like, I love it so much.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't work out and you're like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but I mean, you know, it takes a good team too. We definitely had a good team around us.
Great team. Yeah.
And, like you said, a good, like, just friends praying and good, just family support. And I think it's definitely an interesting process that takes which you did a lot better than I, learning about loans and things like that, or like, not necessarily loans, what is it called? Down payment and closing cost, and like calculating all those different things. I cannot do the math.
I
Like,
can't do math either, so I think it was just
But
like,
you would sit and talk.
I think it was like the Holy Spirit, like, just guiding
Well,
me.
I would be like, we'd have the guy on the phone, and the like mortgage guy on the phone, and Chris would be talking with him, and he's like spewing out so many words, and I cannot wrap my head around what he is saying, to be honest. I'm like, and Chris is just like doing math, and he's just like, oh, so it would be this, and and I'm like, whoa.
I don't know.
And it really was the Holy Spirit, because I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
I was so thankful that you could understand.
Yeah, I'm not
what
a
was
numbers
going
guy.
on.
But I think it was just like, I think it's one of those things where it's like when you're, and a huge part of it, probably 90%, like, you know, a lot of Holy Spirit, and then a lot of like great team. It was being able to be around people who were willing to slow down and explain things to me versus just trying to like get me to like settle for something, you know. That was like a really big part of it. But I think another part of it was just like, okay, this is my family, and I need to make sure that I understand what I'm doing, because like the consequences are huge. You know? I'm not just going to step into something and then not understand what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that was
And
like a big piece
the
of it.
market is so, I don't know what it is like right now, because ever since we've been in this home, I have not touched any house websites, and I don't want to.
Yeah. Just
And
like,
it's
don't ever
probably
think about it
still
again.
crazy though. But I think, what was I going to say about that? I think it took dedication every day to like do our research too. Like, I would set aside like half an hour every single day to look at homes, like, because they go so fast.
Yeah.
Like, they're snatched off the market so fast, where you can look at it one day and it was just put up, and the next day it's gone.
Yeah.
And it would just take every single day being like, I'm going to set aside some time each morning and each night just to scroll on some websites and take a look and do the math, and then send them to the realtor if or if she sends you some, set aside time to like take a look at them. But I mean, right now it always had to be like a fast decision.
That was a really hard part of it, is that like once we found something, we had to decide within like 48 hours, it felt like, which was, I was literally just thinking right now that season, I think, stretched the amount of stress that I'm able to like endure, because the amount of stress that I felt in that season was like insane. But not just the amount of stress that I can feel, but also the amount of faith that I have, you know, where it's like, okay, in the midst of this, God was working something out that I couldn't see. And like, I have to remember that, you know, which I think was like a really big lesson. Also, like, how much control do I actually want? You know, how much am I actually willing to let go? And realizing that I wasn't willing to let go as much as I thought I was, and then had to like come to terms with that. That was like a really big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like an intense season, which
And
is
there's
why
so
I feel
much
like
that
it
comes.
blanks out in my brain.
Oh yeah. I know, me too. There's so much that comes with like once you have the home too.
Yeah.
And, like, everything, like to have this room lit and warm right now, and like
yeah.
there's a lot.
To hear the boiler like turning on downstairs and thinking about the oil slowly going down, and like I just all the other expenses. It just like, but at the same time, like if you're stepping into it knowing that there's just going to be, it's not just like the one expense. There's just like a bunch of other expenses that kind of come with having the home. It's just that now you're really actually responsible for all of that. I'm still coming to terms with that. Like all the things that I have to be doing right now as a homeowner and trying to step into that like which I haven't totally stepped into that like 100% well.
It's a lot to step into.
Yeah.
Even like when we first got here, like we used to have, there used to be people who every 2 weeks would like mow the lawn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we got to do all that.
Yeah.
And like, I'm looking at the leaves in the backyard. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
There's literally a tree that's massive and covers the entire backyard.
Yeah.
Like the whole backyard is covered by this tree. It's huge. And so just imagine all the leaves.
Yeah. I do have like this very new perpetual feeling of fear that this entire house is going to be engulfed in flames.
Oh my gosh. Why?
I don't know. What if it
didn't.
It's just like, what if it were to happen? Like, what if we're gone? You know, like, I'm like.
That could happen to the apartment too.
I know, but I don't own the apartment.
We still own all the stuff in it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just like the little things that kind of like creep into the back
You're watching
of my
the
brain.
candle burn in front of us, like blow it out.
No, yeah. But yeah, having this house, I mean, you know, when we ended up getting it, we had my parents and Gloria's parents. I think that was before there was even anything in the room still.
I think we hadn't we hadn't moved in here yet.
Yeah, we definitely hadn't moved in here yet, but we all were in this room that you're seeing right now if the camera's still working. And and we just prayed over this home, and we dedicated this home to the Lord and to his purposes and to his ministry. And we've already been able to like use the home for that, whether that be like premarital counseling, prepping the next leaders for young adult ministry, having a prayer night here,
hosting small groups
here. Yeah. Just like a bunch of awesome stuff that like is for the benefit of the kingdom. And I think it's been just like super cool to think this is just the beginning. You know, there's still so much more, and being able to have like our friends come alongside us and like help us paint this room, you know, or like
we can talk a little bit about that.
Because
the carpet was like 3 inches thick in every single room.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Every single room, and they had to rip it all out. We had to take all the staples out of the floor because that carpet had like a million staples.
That's just how carpets kind of are.
It was wild. And then there's hardwood that we had to like, we thought was going to be good, and then it wasn't, and we had to make it good. Yeah. Well, we didn't do it. We had someone else make it good because it was like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
And then, paint all the walls, paint the stairs, paint everything, put in floor upstairs.
Yeah. There's still a lot to do in this house. Feel pretty good for like not even being in here like a year, and
not even 6 months.
Yeah, being as far as we are right now with all the things that have.
We only moved in August.
Yeah, have been needing like attention and stuff. So, yeah, but you know, continue to ask you to pray for us and pray that we'll see, you know, the different ways that God might be encouraging us to use this house, you know, for his glory. So it's been really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have any other questions about buying a home, just let us know.
Yeah, we're not pros, so and I've pretty much
But
forgotten everything other than the necessary.
But we did it. We're here.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So what else?
Well, there was coffee trolley. So I mean, that's
true.
just like a big spoiler right there. So
yeah, we did.
Yeah. I feel like they like did we ever go super far into what we were doing with our coffee stuff other than like giving Garrett and Steven some coffee to just like eat, and they were like, this is disgusting.
I don't know.
Steven was like, I don't even like coffee, or maybe that was Garrett, I don't even remember. That was so funny.
But we're doing a lot. The coffee business has been around for a year as of last month.
Wow.
So we hit a year now, which is so cool. We should have celebrated, but it's fine. And we're doing different things now than before. Before we're
doing different. I mean, We're doing the same things in different ways.
No.
We're still doing events. We were doing
Well,
events
we're doing
before.
events differently, and we're roasting a lot more.
Yeah. A lot more.
And we have like 1, potentially 2 weddings next year
Yeah.
that will be having we got like a trolley.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll throw a picture of the trolley here.
yeah, it's
I'm going to
like
have to like listen to this.
technically a coffee trailer,
noise.
but you know, like it looks like a trolley car. It looks like a really cute little San Francisco trolley car.
Yeah.
And so I want to call it the trolley to everybody, but people don't know what that means. So we have to say trailer sometimes. But it's super cute. And so we take it to festivals and farmers markets and events, some private events coming up, farms.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really fun.
It has been. It's been really cool, and also a ministry opportunity in itself too. Whether that was at Emergence doing the church outside, or whether it was like even at just Horseshoe Lake where we ended up meeting Matt.
Yeah.
I think his name is Matt. Yeah, and he started coming to young adults because we like invited him to come out, and we just play worship music. If someone says like, gives us any kind of inkling that they might be Christian.
Someone will start singing along. We're like, hey.
They're like, hey, do you have like a church you go to? Or like, are you part of a community? Or are you Christian? Or even if we just see somebody within the demographic of like a young adult, we'll be like, hey, are you looking for a community? Because if you are, come out on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. So same goes out to anybody who's listening. If you're a young adult looking for a community, come out on a Tuesday night, 7 p.m. at the Netcong
Grace
campus.
Church Netcong campus.
Yeah.
But we're definitely learning a lot about like business and how to run the trolley well. Because it's like running a mini fast food place because you're just like taking order, fulfilling the order really fast, taking the order, fulfilling the order.
So much.
Sometimes it's like
crazy.
wild turnouts to the events and
Yeah.
we're just thrown into the deep end, which is like a good way to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have some more coming up, which we're excited about
Yeah.
in December.
We're actually we're upgrading the trolley too so that there's no generator. So like that sound of like where you
Yeah,
like hear
'cause
like generator.
The trolley was run by like a generator, but it was so loud
Yeah.
where,
Which is like normal for food trucks to have generators.
yeah, but it'll be nice to not have.
But now we're going to have a
that.
battery.
Yep.
So like the whole trolley is going to be an electric trolley. So that means we can put it anywhere and there won't be any like noise that
Yep.
coming from the trolley, which is going to be really cool. And
Yeah.
I think open up a lot of opportunities. Like you don't want to have like a wedding where there's just like this loud
Yeah.
trolley generator going on.
Yeah. So that's been really, really exciting. And we're like supplying coffee to this other coffee shop. And what else are we doing? I feel like there's something else, but I'm not remembering.
I don't know. Just like the private events stuff, those kinds of things. But
And I'm learning that I really do love like events and stuff like that. So it's been really fun planning different things and learning different things in that. And
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of the things, like the things. I feel like those are like things that are going on in life, almost kind of like the highlight reel. But like in between all of the other stuff, I feel like there's just been a lot that we've been like learning to, like for me, one of the things that I think has been really fruitful over the last couple months, which is crazy, it's been a couple months, is my devotional, like actually stepping into doing that, like, more habitually and not like taking so long between journaling, because like even before doing it as routinely as I am now, I would like read a devotional, but I wouldn't journal. And like now I'm like journaling and doing my, devotional, like reading the word and stuff, more systematically. And that's been like really fruitful thing, to kind of have like as a discipline, but also have like grace with myself because there's some days I like don't do it,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to like condemn myself for that, but trying to just like continue to encourage myself to say like, hey, I've been doing it for 13 weeks. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
You've seen the fruit. Like one of the things that in the midst of us being with my parents that I said was like, I feel like I'm leading, but I don't feel like I'm leading with the Lord. I'm just like kind of trying to make things happen. And I think a big part of that was like my absence from my own personal devotional. And so like starting to do my devotional again regularly has like not just brought good advice to my lips, but like brought God's word to my lips, you know, so that I'm not just leading of my own volition or anything like that, or even just depending on myself in any ways. It's just like, okay, cool. Like the season that I'm walking through is informed by the Lord, which is cool. Another thing is, it's so funny. At the beginning of this, we literally said like, if you want to, you know, hear about the house stuff, wait till the end. And literally it's like probably halfway through that we talked about that.
I know, because it was just, the biggest thing has been this house. We've been decorating. It's just fun.
Yeah. I was going to say another big thing is we are more seriously talking about church planning right now.
It's true.
Yeah. So we've been having like conversations about that, which has been good and exciting, and also like kind of scary too. But you want to share any of your thoughts on that?
You have more thoughts than me.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I talk about them all the time.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Talk about them for everyone else now.
Basically, like 3 years or so ago, maybe like 2.5, felt like God was putting a desire in my heart to plant a church in the town we used to live in. And so I waited on that, and I was like, okay, I don't think it's time yet. You know, I feel like I have this desire, but I don't think it's time for it. And then when we were still with my parents, right before we like were closing on the house, I went to Glow and I was like, okay, I think it's time, because of a myriad of conversations that I had with the Lord and with mentors in my life. And then we closed on the house, and then like nothing happened for like 2 months or something like that, but like a longer period of time. And then I started having conversations again about it. And basically the ball's been like slowly rolling, like a really good idea of what could be like a healthy step forward in regards to how to actually plant a church, not just start a church, but how to plant a church. And there's like differentiating definitions between church starts and church plants. Like a church plant you'll go into the community and you'll like allow for the gospel to like be seated in it and grow with the community that's in it, and just for it to kind of be like organic, basically like you're like preparing the soil in some way. Starting a church is like, okay, I'm going to take like, however much capital, and I'm just going to like go in there and we're going to have like a crazy huge launch day. And like from that, this church is going to like start, but you like transplant a bunch of people like there. I'm kind of taking like a hybrid of the two, which is my desire is to go there for like a year each week, serving the community and like doing Bible studies and everything like that in the community, while also having a church service where I can like train the team that would be serving that community before we like get there. So that's kind of something that's been in the works. Still kind of like it's a lot of words and not a lot of action, but we'll see when that kind of begins to shift and how that impacts our family, which has been like a whole nother conversation about like, how do I do this well and sustainably and responsibly? Not just like, oh, look, a thing I want to do. Like, let me just do it and not think about how this might impact my family and the demands of, being like a present, loving. Well, no, like I don't mean like the demands in a bad way, but just like the realities of being like a present and loving husband, and not just like, out pursuing my own thing without, being mindful of you. So, yeah, that's another big thing.
Our dogs are doing well.
Kudo and Chai are doing really good.
Kudo and Chai. Chai got spayed.
Yeah. Dang. Now the whole world knows.
Good. Your doggies can't have doggies with her.
Yeah.
I turned 25.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
It's great. And we like thought that your brain fully develops when you turn 25, but it actually turns out that it's probably not until you're 30.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, 30?
Yeah. That's what I told you.
For men?
And women.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got a
I mean,
long
it makes
way.
sense. I haven't felt much change in my frontal lobe or my maturity. so that's probably true.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know. It's crazy.
Yep.
We saw Wreck-It Ralph. That was the first time I ever seen that.
I had seen it. Yeah, Chris had never seen Wreck-It Ralph. And that was with Katie and Michael.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
What do we have coming up?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, more coffee events, more young adult events. Yeah, it is kind of weird that like there's not a big change coming up. I feel like we've had so much change. It's like holidays are coming up and then it's the new year.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's even happening in the new year? Who knows?
Who knows? Our lives change so fast. It's kind of like wild to think about it. But
We're probably going to travel a little bit. But
yeah, you're going to like Las Vegas, aren't you?
Los Angeles.
Oh, you're going to Los Angeles.
A little bit different.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, to see my friend. Well, it's actually for work, but I'll also see my friend if you're listening. Hi, Kaylee.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of time to catch up, and this isn't our last episode. So
No, we want to continue our podcast.
yeah, get people on again. Too.
Maybe this episode will start us up.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for looks like my camera's not on.
I know, but it's okay. You're still listening.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. We'll see you guys soon.
The camera is off.
That's okay. We're still talking. You can still hear us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for sending a few ideas to get us thinking of what to talk about too. And if we didn't talk about it yet, maybe we will in the future.
Yeah. All right. Catch you in the next one.
See ya.